we want to do right now is take some time to remember what this case is really about. The beautiful life that was lost, the life that belonged to Officer John O'Keefe. He was a son, he was a brother, he was an uncle, he was dad to his niece and nephew. He was a dear friend to so many people. And I'm so honored to have with me on the show this morning two people who love him dearly and miss him dearly, and they're hoping for justice in this case. I want to welcome on now John's dear friend, Jackie Dugal, and his cousin, Renay Rizzitano. Good morning to you both. And Jackie, I know you and I have met before. You've come on the show before. Renay, this is the first time that you and I are meeting, so I want to start just saying, person to person, I know you're John's cousin. I am so sorry for your loss. I know this has been really tough for you all. Jackie and I have spoken about it. And so let's start there. Let's start with what it's like missing him for you ladies, what it's like missing John and the void that him being gone has left in your hearts. Jackie, would you start us off, please?
I just think that the start of this verdict watch really puts things in perspective. You know, every day we kind of go into what's happening in court today, but now that it's over, we start to think about him again in this way that we were unable to during the trial. And it's just such a emotional day, emotional feeling for it to be in the hands of the 12 jurors. And, you know, you're here and we're putting up pictures. His friends have printed out pictures and put them on all the tables. And it's really about remembering him and you know, hoping for justice.
Oh, that's so sweet. So you're at a local VFW there in Dedham with pictures of John all over the table so that everyone can look at him and remember him as you were all together hoping and praying for justice. That's a beautiful thing to be together at such a stressful time. Renay, what's it been like for you? What's it been like missing your cousin John?
I mean, the void is just unimaginable, but I'm just going to say what Jackie said. I think it's just really nice for us all to be together and just to go back on those moments of who he was and as a person and remembering those like funny moments. I mean, me and a couple of my cousins were just talking this morning how much like his jokes that we miss, his laughter we miss. And yeah, it's a shame that he's not here with us.
Right. From what I've heard, Renay, he was funny. He was so funny. That's what Jackie and some other dear friends of John's had shared with us on the program some time ago. And when you think about his spirit, tell me, what would be going on in his life right now? If he were alive today and still living life, Renay, what do you think he would be up to? What do you think he would be doing? What do you think some of his goals would be if he were still here?
I mean, that I can only imagine, but I know he would be very excited for Patrick just to graduate 8th grade today. Haley going to her junior prom last couple weeks ago. I know he would be very involved with them. And just making sure that we're all, you know, together. Like,
He'd be playing golf.
Playing golf, yeah.
His dad and brother and all the tournaments, and he loved that. And, you know, just the light of his life for those, you know, those kids, and they're doing so great and really moving forward in their lives. And, you know, they miss him a ton. I know, unimaginable loss. And, you know, he'd be there with them and being the fun uncle and big support for him and for the whole family.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And Jackie, we've spoken about this before, and I think it's definitely worth revisiting for anybody who missed the segment when you were on before. John's legacy, his life and his legacy as someone so close to him. You've been a dear friend for such a long time. What would you say John's legacy is?
Just to treat other people the way you want to be treated. He would honestly do everything and anything he could to help a friend in need. I said this the other day. If my husband needed anything, you know, if he was in need and his family is a little bit further away, the first person I would call would be John. I know he would be there in a heartbeat. And that is how he was with everyone. family, friends, anyone who really needed help. That's his legacy.
Yeah, he was a helper. You know, and that's interesting. During the trial, we saw Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan note that very clearly at the outset of the closing arguments for the jury, that this was a helper. This trial is about a helper in need of help, was effectively, you know, what he said to the members of the jury. Renay, I want to ask you the same question about John's legacy, please. What would you say his legacy is?
I mean, just like being kind. And I think just after these last 3 years, you just see so many people, just strangers reaching out and just, you know, thinking of you and praying for you. Just to be there for one another.
Mm-hmm. Kindness,
just
helping.
Kindness.
Right.
Yeah.
Compassion, yes. No.
Doing good by one another.
Mm-hmm. You know, tell me the hardest part about this time right now, this waiting time. I know that it's very stressful, it's nerve-wracking, and for both of you, Jackie and Renay, it's especially nerve-wracking because this was your loved one. This is someone that you care deeply about, that you miss every day. And you've been through 2 trials. This is trial number 2. What's been the hardest part about going through this process of getting justice for John? Jackie, to you first, please.
A loaded question. I think there's so many different aspects of it, even just going today and the crowd of people there, and you have to walk through, and coming back here even, and just stepping here where we were last year. It's a weird emotional feeling, and we're just glad we're all together for it. I've honestly, you know, one of the silver linings is that, you know, I know John's family a lot deeper now, and they're all so wonderful, and they all miss him so much. And I'm just happy to be here to support them, whatever they need. You know, it's there's a lot, but it's all worth it if we're here together and in support of justice.
Mm-hmm. You have each other. You're leaning on each other. And we want to hear your answer, Renay. I'm being told we need to hit a break. If you can stay with us, and on the other side, I want to ask you, please, what's been the most difficult part going through the trial process as we continue on the verdict watch today here together? We'll be right back as we continue remembering Officer John O'Keefe.
Coming soon to Court TV.
It's the biggest story that we're covering.
These murders have shaken our community.
He is the boogeyman.
So many eyes have been on Donna Adelson from the beginning. It's terrible.
A social media sensation, now a suspected killer.
Why do you have something against me?
She wrote a children's book about her husband's death. Now she's accused of killing him.
The high-stakes trials you don't want to miss. Coming soon. Only on Court TV.
Welcome back. We want to continue the conversation now with 2 people very close to Officer John O'Keefe, his cousin, Renay Rizzitano, and his friend, Jackie Dugal. Ladies, thank you for your patience and your time this morning. I know this is a tough day, and before the break, we left off with talking about what's been the toughest part of going through this quest for justice through the criminal justice system and trial number 2. Renay, what's been toughest for you?
I mean, I always say this. I think the hardest part is being forgotten about. And, you know, when we're supporting one another through the trials, as family members and friends, we get called murderers, we get booed on just by supporting one another and wanting justice for Johnny. But he's not being remembered on who he was, and he's just being forgotten about through this whole thing. And I think that's the biggest tragedy out of this, everything.
Mm-hmm. Right. I've never seen a homicide case play out like this. I've never, ever seen a victim's family, loved ones being harassed and bullied. That has to be awful, and I'm so sorry that you experienced that, Renay. That is awful, and I admire your strength and courage. Jackie, you as well. Would you speak to how so many family and friends and loved ones are strongly supporting John? But it may not be quite as overt as the sign holding and the loud protesting and the things like that sometimes get picked up by the cameras. Jackie, would you speak to that? What we're not seeing, the strong support for John that is there?
Yeah, we obviously have a good support at the courtroom, and, but you know, people don't see the messages or the texts from family and friends and people we don't know. You know, the letters that are written to the family that they get at the courtroom, and pictures of John that people have painted, and you know, we do feel like we have a strong, silent backing, and it's always nice to hear. Thank you so much, for letting us come on and remember John again, and you know, it's always nice to hear, but we know that there are a plethora of people behind us, strong, silent, and waiting for justice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so many supporters, you know, that it's not a contest, right? It's not a contest out there. You know, the support is there and you've seen it, and these might not be the loudest people and may not be the ones who are trying to flood social media with comments, but they are there. Renay, tell us about that, please. What is it like to have the strong showing of support that you do have, even though it may not be the loudest voices out there, but in terms of sincerity and hope and comfort and encouragement? What is your network of support like?
I mean, it just means the world to have those simple messages. People donating, you know, money just so we can get lunch while we wait, and just for seeing if we need anything, bringing us food during the trial days. Moments like that just means the world to our family and friends.
I'm sure it does. Well, and I see a lot of support. I've been on social media for years and years, and will be after this case, and I see so many people that are exuding so much love and support and encouragement for John O'Keefe, and understand that he is the victim and know that he isn't being forgotten. And I thank you both for taking the time out of your day at a time that's stressful to honor him, and we'll continue to do that on this program. Renay Rizzitano, Jackie Dugal, thank you so much.